What is going on, guys? Johnny on the track, back with another video, coming off a great start to the playoffs at Darlington. We hit on Kyle Larson, which was a good solid bet, about 4 to 5 units. I would say around the 5-unit mark, depending on where you got that bet. And then we got Eric Jones top 10, which should have been another, 1 to 2 units. So good stuff. Good start to the playoffs. That's what we needed. Let's keep the momentum going this weekend at Kansas. Should be a good one. Kansas, one of the better mile-and-a-half tracks we've got on the circuit. So excited for that. Let's get into it. Let's get into some bets. We got to start by saying this week, Johnny on the track as you know it is going to be something a little bit different. Jot. The meaning of jot, J-O-T-T, okay? It's going to mean something different. J-O-T-T this weekend at Kansas is going to mean Johnny on the Toyota. Johnny on the Toyota. We are going to be high on Toyotas this weekend. Yes, that is right. My bets are focused all over the Toyota camp. So with that, let's start with, my favorite bet, honestly, and that's Toyota being the winning manufacturer. It's only plus 110. So, the odds could be a little better. They could have been closer to 200. But I love the bet. I love the bet. Toyotas. There we go. Toyotas. That's a tough one to say when you keep saying it over and over again here. They've won all the Kansas races in the next gen era. And I think that streak will stay alive this Sunday. Earlier this year at Kansas, 5 of the fastest 6 were all Toyotas. I think that's enough said. I think that is enough said. Toyota is going to be very, very good this weekend. Really the only 2 guys that I think that can compete and give these guys a little something is Kyle Larson and William Byron. Those are the guys. I think those 2... excuse me here. There's a phone going off in the background. I think those 2 can do something about these Toyotas, but to me, I think overall JGR 2311, I think they're going to be too strong, and they're going to be the class of the field. So with that, I mentioned 2311. Bubba Wallace, very, very high on Bubba this weekend. This is his track. He won this race last year, was not in the playoffs when he won this race, but nonetheless, he won it. And an interesting note about 2311 at Kansas, technically speaking, somebody associated with 2311 has won every Kansas race in the next gen era. Started with Kurt Busch, then it went to Bubba Wallace. Earlier this year, it wasn't one of the 2311 drivers, it was their owner, Denny Hamlin. But nonetheless, 2311 has pretty much dominated Kansas in the next gen era. Top 5 in speed here earlier this year too. I believe Bubba Wallace was 4th overall in speed rankings. Where do I get these great numbers from? iFantasyRace. Ryan at iFantasyRace.com. Dude just does an amazing job. I shouted him out last week. I'll shout him out again. But Bubba Wallace, very fast earlier this year. I expect him to have one hell of a race car, and I think he's going to compete for this thing. Plus 1,200 is the number. Maybe if he qualifies outside the top 10, maybe outside the top 15, maybe you get that closer to plus 1,500. I think wherever he qualifies, you should take this bet because I think, like I said, Toyota is going to be fast, and Bubba has proven to be an elite racer at Kansas Speedway here. Tyler Reddick, the other guy, plus 900, his teammate. Again, I can echo all the sentiments and statements that I said about Bubba Wallace, that I've said about Toyota. Tyler Reddick coming off a great run, 2nd place at Darlington. That team has been struggling prior to the playoffs, so I'm glad they found some speed. I think they can keep that momentum. Plus 900 is the number on Reddick. look, I can't say enough about this team. I think this team is clicking at the right time, both with Reddick and Bubba. They both came off really, really good, solid runs at Darlington, and I just think that momentum's gonna keep going at a really solid track for this organization. So Reddick, I would throw it on there, and then 23-11 to be the winning team. If you're not comfortable in one of those guys, let's say you're not comfortable in Bubba or you're not comfortable in Reddick, I think you should put the money on 23-11 to be the winning team. I didn't see a number a few hours ago, but let me quickly check again to see if there is a number up on this bet. Probably won't be. Here we go. Yeah, no, nothing here yet. But that should drop soon, probably tomorrow or the next day. So I don't know, maybe around plus 350, plus 400 is probably what I guess this would open at. If you can get around plus 400, I think that's a really, really good solid bet. JGR and Hendrick, I assume, would be the top two. And then I would probably say 23-11 would be that third tier team to win. So if you can get around the plus 400 number, I think you lock that in. And again, if you're not feeling confident in a Bubba or a Tyler Reddick, you can place that team number. All right, one more here. Let's do a top 10. And the top 10 I like this week, and I liked it last weekend, but it didn't hit. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. plus 550 right now. This is on Rhode Island Sportsbook, but I believe it would be on William Hill as well. Plus 550, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. for a top 10 finish. Ricky, I feel like is very underrated this year at the 1.5 mile tracks. He's actually had a really good amount of speed this year. Had a good run at Charlotte, had a good run earlier this year at Kansas, 12th, 13th at Darlington, had a 7th at Pocono. Last week finished 16th at Darlington, but had some speed in practice, qualified decent. So the speed is there for Ricky. Maybe it's a little off that top 10 of what you're looking for. But I think if this race goes a little bit crazy, maybe there's a late restart, which I wouldn't be shocked. I think, Ricky will be running right around 12th to 13th, and I think maybe he could pick up some spots. So overall, I think that's a really good, solid number to get Ricky Stenhouse Jr. It's a gotta have it weekend for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He needs a good run. I believe in him at Bristol. He's had really good runs at Bristol. A couple second places, some additional top fives there at Bristol. But this is a gotta have it week. He cannot lose ground in the points. I think he's 2 back of the cut right now, 2 to 4, something like that. So if he just has a good solid run, gets a top 10, I think that would be great for them to head into that last Bristol race. So I think the stars are going to align for Ricky in that 47 team. I like the number plus 550 for, again, a playoff driver who's got to have it and has shown speed on 1.5 miles. This team has made significant strides this year. And honestly, I was not a believer in Ricky Stenhouse for a while. I think the nicknames of Ricky Spinhouse were quite warranted, to be honest with you. But this season, Ricky has shown me that he can be a consistent guy right around top 15. And that's what he's done. So it's been a while, not since Pocono has Ricky got a top 10. But again, I like the track. I like the situation. I like the scenario here. So Ricky Stenhouse Jr. for a top 10 finish. And that's it, guys. That's all I've got. I think maybe we might add some stuff. Johnny on the Track on Action Network for anything post-practice, post-qualifying. And, of course, at JOTT_podcast on Twitter for additional stuff. I didn't do it at the beginning, so I'll do it at the end. Got to shout out the guys at the NASCAR Betting Preview Show. If you're listening on the podcast feed, appreciate that. Thank you. You also can subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's Johnny on the Track on YouTube, and then vice versa. If you're watching on YouTube, definitely, give a like and a subscribe, however that works on the NASCAR Betting Preview Show podcast feed. And then if you want to tune into the actual NASCAR Betting Preview Show, that takes place Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Twitter Spaces for, some additional bets. There's a lot of guys doing what we're doing, and it's awesome to see. and hopefully they're on Toyotas like I will be this weekend. But like I said, appreciate you guys watching. One more time, we'll roll through them. Bubba plus 1200, Reddick plus 900, Toyota to win plus 110, 2311 to be the winning team, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. top 10 plus 550. Feel confident, feeling good. I think we're gonna have a good weekend with the momentum that we built at Darlington. So let's do it. Definitely give this video a like. If you're a first time listener or viewer, definitely subscribe to the YouTube. We appreciate that. And comments, keep the comments coming. Want to know what you guys think and who you've got not only winning the race, but how about advancing to the round of 12? Let's hear it in the comments. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Let's have a great weekend this Sunday at Kansas.